DLL hijacking is one of the most common techniques used to gain remote access or elevate user privileges in the system. As you know, almost all Windows and custom applications, when running, can load special library files called as Dynamic Link Library, or just simply DLL. The formats of this file are the same as for Windows executable. Let's have a brief look at how DLL file is loaded. You can see the following order of DLL loading when it's missing in the directory from which application is launched. DLL file can be found in one of the listed locations. So, how does the exploitation work? It's very simple. Attacker can replace legitimate DLL file with malicious one. And once application is loaded, it will try to load certain DLL file. But in this case, it will run malicious file. I suppose you have a question. How is it possible to place malicious file into these directories? Most of them are system, and even a standard user doesn't have sufficient privileges and access. And you will be right, but attacker can control current working directory. It can be USB drives or network shares. Attacker can drop two files into the network share, legitimate harmless file and malicious DLL. For example, some text document as a harmless file and DLL as a Trojan or backdoor. When user opens network share, he will see document file and he will not suspect anything wrong. This is the way how remote computer can be compromised. Now let's dive deeper and try to understand how this happens. The reason why the launching process tries to locate missing DLL in different directories is that the path to certain DLL file is not fully qualified in the code of application. Just look at the code fragment. You can see that API function load library is used to load DLL file, but there is only name of the file and nothing else, no static link. How would you find the file? And this is what happens in this case. Service host process tries to locate the file in the listed directories. Now let's consider another situation. In this code fragment, DLL file has a static link path. And this is what happens in this case. As you can see, the file is missing, but despite this fact, it's being loaded only from one directory. How do you think? Which one of two applications is vulnerable and can be exploited? We already know the theory how DLL hijacking works. Now let's try to exploit some application. For demonstration, I'm going to use a vulnerable network sniffer Wireshark. The short description says that when opening network capture file, it launches Wireshark program. Wireshark tries to find rpcap.dll file. Because this file does not normally exist in operating system, it's being searched in the folder where our network capture file is located. Let's see what happens when we open the file. I start at Process Monitor and apply the following filters. In my USB drive folder, I already have one file sample. Let's open it. In Process Monitor, we can see that Wireshark tries to locate rpcap.dll file in System and Windows folders. Because this file does not exist there, it tries to locate it in USB folder. OK, from here we can see that application is vulnerable, and we can exploit it. The first thing we need to do is to generate crafted DLL file. MSF Venom utility will help us. Just enter the following command. Now we need to copy this file to USB drive where our Wireshark file sample is stored. On Kali machine, I already launched a listener. Now let's insert USB drive to Windows machine to open Wireshark file. We can see two files. The first one, as we know, is not malicious. The second one can be hidden, and most users will not see it. Open our legitimate file. The file cannot be opened because we just crafted the DLL file. If we look at process monitor, you will see the whole process. Our malicious file was executed the way we expected. At the same time, in Kali machine we have interpreter session. By the way, USB drive is not the only way how to deliver malicious DLL file. You can also place it in a shared drive or file servers. If you wish to test vulnerable Wireshark, you can download it from Exploit database.